Absolutely
Now,
right.
it's not always easy, though, to get to this point.
We're not to this point yet.
No,
We're
well,
fighting
actually,
like
we're still got a
crazy.
way to go, but
Well, you're an example of your leadership is an example of women doing better. Because when I was young, you never would have had this position in a million years, which is fantastic. So as I travel and I see all of you and I see all the women working now, that is inspirational to me that all this work has been worth every little drop of
Every
sweat,
cent.
every bit.
Yeah.
Makes me so happy.
no, I know exactly how you feel. Now, I have to ask you this question, both in your fight for equality, where we're not there yet, but also on the tennis court. Sometimes when I'm watching, I can see a player is actually, they're up a set and then they're down a set. And you can see almost the mental state change in front of you.
Yes.
And then sometimes they can come back and fight and you go, oh, what a turnaround. Same when you're fighting for equality or something in the business world.
Yeah.
What goes on in your head on the tennis court in this fight for equality and leadership that you're doing? How do you get your head into the right place when you've had a setback?
Well, I put them in three different categories. I have mental, emotional, which I think is the most important one at the very top, and then obviously the physical. But it's really about your head, your heart, and your guts being together and working in unison. And you'll find when you're not having all three on all cylinders, that's when you have a challenge. And most players never have three. They usually have two going, two other ones going. It's very interesting. The very best players in the world, the difference is the emotional aspect, how they think they deserve it. A lot of kids, I don't know what happens to them. They get to a point where they are going to they could win, like you're talking, and they don't believe in themselves. But I think a lot of it is they don't think they deserve it. So when I talk to players, I say, you deserve the best that life has to offer. You deserve the best. And they kind of look at you like, really? So I can tell they have grown up with not great messaging because they do deserve it. Every human being deserves it. So it's the emotional side, but it's those three things working together that when you're in the zone, that athletes talk about. It's you're in the now, you're in the process, but that's what you want for life. That's what you learn in sports, okay? And then you take it from the field or the swimming, wherever you're, whatever sport you're in. Okay, I'll say court here. That then when you get in real life, in business every day, I use something I learned in sports. That's why I want girls to be in sports. I don't care if they're any good. They don't have to be a great athlete. But girls are not taught to trust their bodies. They're not taught to trust themselves. And they have to change. And they have to stop being perfect. They have to stop it. This is what happens typically in business. There'll be a work application to fill out. And a guy will look at it. Let's say there's 10 points to it. And a guy will look at it and go, I can do 5 of those. The other 5, I'll figure it out. I'm going to go get that job. This is what a woman says to herself a lot of times. There's 10 there. I can do 9 of them really, really well, but I'm not sure I can do that 10th one. So maybe I won't even turn it in if I can't do all of them. It's like, oh, no. Just go for it. That's one problem. And also, women are hired on performance too much.
Yeah, you were talking about that before.
Right, and boys on
performance and
potential, men on potential. Please, everyone in business, I ask this of you. When you go to hire, when you look at a woman, that you look at her potential as well, not just her performance. Because with men, for some reason, they look at a guy and they go, oh, I wonder how he can be. Maybe he can be a great leader later. Maybe he can be a CEO. Maybe be a head of marketing. Like they don't ever ask a woman that. They go, what have you done in the past, basically? And that's how they hire you. And so I'd like every person who is in a position of power that hires people, that they'll think about potential for everyone and not just for men. Because they've done all kinds of research now. That's the Wall Street Journal one I just mentioned to you.
Yeah, we were talking about that.